Good morning. Happy Monday. It's not morning. It's the afternoon. Abby, wake up. It's been a long weekend, but it was a good weekend, right, Joe? Got some, yeah, we had a great weekend. We saw some wins across the board, all over the place. LSU Football. Saints came through with a shutout over the Patriots. Good weekend. And we're going to break down, at least we're going to break down that LSU win over Missouri. Not a beautiful performance from the defense, but just enough to get by. Baseball also had some scrimmages. Soccer came through with another win. Got some really cool Tiger tee. We'll get into that, but make sure y'all hit the sub button. I say it all the time. I got to keep saying it because we really need the support. Hit the button. You don't lose anything. If anything, you just get access to more content, and we appreciate it. Hit the sub button. Okay, so baseball had 3 scrimmages. We recapped Thursday's scrimmage on Friday morning, but they have since played 2 more scrimmages, fall ball in full swing, Friday and Sunday, or yesterday. They played at 1 yesterday. Quick stats, I'll just give you a little recap of those 2 scrimmages and some of the names that you'll be seeing hopefully a lot during the season. Mick Paul went 2 for 2 with a triple and 2 RBI. Derek Mitchell went 2 for 2. Paxton Kling went 2 for 3 with 2 stolen bases, so we know he's going to be a prominent base runner. He did a little bit of pinch running, probably a little bit more prevalent and have more of a role on the team this year. But yes, 2 stolen bases. Zeb Ruddle went 1 for 2 with a walk. Justin Luhr, one of the guys that Jay Johnson brought in to help the pitching staff, pitched 2 innings, 0 hits, 3 strikeouts. Christian Little, 2 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. And then on Sunday, some of the same names you're seeing here. Derek Mitchell went 2 for 2, 2 RBI and a stolen base. Josh Pearson went 2 for 2. Ryan Kacharik went 1 for 1 with an RBI. DJ Primo, pitched 2 innings, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Cade Anderson, 1 inning pitched, 2 strikeouts. And Cam Johnson pitched an inning with 1 strikeout. So a lot of new names, a lot. I think, you see 2 guys on this list of stats that were on the team last year, and that's Paxton Kling and Josh Pearson. The rest of these guys are newcomers, but already kind of – Christian Little. I completely missed over that. But most of the guys on this list are newcomers. We know that this isn't a rebuild year. It was a reload, and they keep saying that. And that's because of the talent that Jay Johnson has brought in during the offseason. They will continue with the scrimmages during fall ball. Again, those are open to the public. So if you want to go see some of the guys showcase their talent, the young ones who are now going to have more of a role on the team, and the ones who haven't put on a Tiger uniform during season yet, go check them out at Alex Box. Soccer coming through with a big win for them. They beat Tennessee for the first time in the regular season since 2011, and that was a big win for them because they have not won a game since September 24th against Mississippi State, which was a beautiful performance. They kind of got off a little bit. They were stuck on the win over Mississippi State, dropped 2 games, couldn't really figure it out. They're back in the win column. They beat Tennessee with a 1-goal game. 1-0. Ava Galligan scored on an assist from Remy Noel in the 51st minute. Molly Swift finished with 7 saves, and it was actually LSU's 3rd shutout of the season, first shutout in SEC play, and they are now ranked 4th in the SEC's West Division. Just kind of a little bit of what that game looked like. Clean play. They were had a very disciplined defense, absolutely owned the second half. I know Coach Hudson was very pleased, not just with the team, because now they are 3-3 in the SEC, but with the fans. Y'all showed up. She even said, we talked before the game about giving the fans something to cheer about, and I thought the players in the second half certainly did that. I want to give the fans a big shout out. It was amazing to have the band there, and the atmosphere was amazing. So that's huge. I mean, it gets overlooked a lot. We talk about it in football. You talk about it in baseball, how much of an impact the crowd has and having fans show up and get loud. To see that for women's soccer is awesome, especially at home. And it does make a difference. You know, those athletes feed off the energy in the stadium, and it's very clear, especially when it comes down to these games where it's 0-0 for a while and one goal makes the difference. So they are, again, 3-3 in the SEC, back in the win column, and they look like they cleaned a lot of things up. I know Coach Hudson was very proud of the girls. So shout out to LSU Soccer for another SEC win, for beating Tennessee for the first time in the regular season since 2011. That's awesome. Now we're going to recap the football game. Jayden Daniels is him. Let me say it again. Jayden Daniels is him, and you can argue with me about it, and there have been so many people that just couldn't get behind Jayden Daniels for one reason or another, but he's making it damn hard for people not to get behind him now, because the playmaking ability, the skill, not just that, but the fact that he's such a leader. And you saw that he hurt his ribs. He got banged up this weekend, took a lot of hard hits, still managed to play through. And you look at his stats. By the way, he is a SEC Offensive Player of the Week for the third time this season. But the stats speak for themselves. 15 for 21, 259 yards through the air, 130 yards on the ground. He had 15 carries, 4 touchdowns altogether. Again, just QBR of 97.1. You had Garrett Nussmeier come in for, 2 snaps maybe? Or
I think it was
a
just
drive
2 snaps.
or whatever. He did well, again, when his name was called, came in, did what he needed to do. But Jayden Daniels got right back into the game, and he should be credited, or has been credited, but continues to be credited with the wins that this team has seen. Not just him, but the whole offense. I mean, even Emory Jones this week won SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. That, you look at the rushing stats, and again, give credit to the guys who are running the ball. Logan Diggs posted 134 yards on 24 carries with a touchdown. He averaged 5.6 yards per carry. But you got to also give it to the guys up front who are allowing for that to happen, for the offense to move on the ground. We knew that maybe you want to say something.
Yeah, just going back to Jayden Daniels for a quick second.
Oh, yeah.
Anything like that, there's no negatives. There's no negatives right now. There were some, like, was he going to come along? Was he going to be confident in himself? Let me just run this off. Passing touchdowns, passing yards, and passing efficiency, he's top 3 in the nation, and all of them top 2 in 2 of them. It's incredible. The only people listed above him, period, are Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr. Michael Penix Jr. obviously had an extra bye week, but to be listed in the conversation with the top 2 Heisman candidates right now is crazy. How he's not in the conversation is a different. I don't know. I can't give you any answers there.
And yeah, that was actually something that I wanted to bring up. We'll go back to the O-line in a minute, but the defense is hurting his Heisman candidacy, right? But you could also look at it as, like, could you imagine what his stats would be if the defense was up to par and gave him more time on the field? If he's posting these numbers with a defense that has red flags all over it, imagine. And I know we could play the what if game for every aspect of college football, but you've got to, like, take a step back and look at what Jayden Daniels is doing. It is unreal. It is unreal. And you're seeing people kind of get on board now, and he has made an incredible jump from what we saw last year to even the beginning of the season. But the way that he has matured as a quarterback, as a leader, as somebody who the whole offense is, or the whole team really is relying on you. He's making it happen. And I mean, again, the numbers speak for themselves. You watch him play and it's the same thing. Like stat wise and within the school, he's getting up there to where Joe Burrow was.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to say because Joe Burrow's untouchable and that team is untouchable and stuff. But, like, if you look at the numbers.
He's right now, Jayden Daniels is on pace to finish second all-time in SEC single-season passing yards behind only Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Put some respect on his name. I know we are. But let me say it again. Jayden Daniels is him. The offense is really good, too. The rest of the offense is doing incredible. The O-line, I want to go back to Emory Jones. Again, offensive lineman of the week. He played all 73 offensive snaps. Obviously helped the offense to 274 rushing yards against a Missouri defense that led the SEC and ranked number 8 nationally in rush defense, only allowing 74.8 yards per game. So, credit not just to Jayden Daniels, but to Logan Diggs, to the O-line for putting those numbers up, for allowing those numbers to be put up. Anything else you want to say about the offense? Again, just to give you some more stats here, Malik Nabers, 146 yards, 6 receptions, and a touchdown. Brian Thomas with another touchdown. Maason Taylor with another. I'm just throwing it all out there. I'm excited. Go ahead.
No, 100%. I was going to say let's stay on those two. Right now, Malik Nabers is number 2 in the country in receiving yards, and Brian Thomas is number 1 in the country in receiving touchdowns. So this offense is, all the credit has to go to the players on the field, but also just offensive coordinator. It's been really impressive seeing the growth from game 1 to game 6.
Yes, and we're halfway through the season now, and going back to that growth conversation, it's insane how far they've come in such a short span of time. Because that opening game was concerning, but I don't think anybody has any questions about the LSU offense anymore at all. They have figured out exactly how this works. The balance is there. I know there may have been a few, I don't want to say concerns, but you were curious as to how the offense would function again after that outing against Ole Miss. Could they do it again? You want to be a little bit more careful with clock management. And are you going to run the ball some more? We did run the ball some more for that reason, but it worked out exactly how it was supposed to. Brian Kelly did a great job with that, for sure. The defense, man. I will say this. They had some really good plays at important moments, which I think panned out exactly how we needed it to. And you're not going to see this change overnight. This isn't, we brought in Pete Jenkins, everything's fixed. And it's going to take some time. You're going to struggle with the same things for a while, at least for this season. But to highlight, because they're getting a lot of hate right now, consequences for your actions. But I do want to highlight some of the things that they did do. Because remember, Brady Cook came into this game with no picks, and he left with 2. Mm-hmm. A pick 6 from Major Burns and an interception from Harold Perkins. Those are good stats to have for a defense that really they're trying to find their identity. They're trying to figure out how to make this work. We've said it before. Nobody else is coming in to save the day. You got to work with what you're given. They're making baby steps. That being said, there's still a lot of work to do. But, you've got Bradyn Swinson, who, by the way, side note, Bradyn Swinson is awesome. He came in here today and did an interview for Up and In with Anthony. He is a great kid, got a good head on his shoulders. Definitely check that out. It'll be dropping tomorrow, right? That one goes out tomorrow. So, if you want to get to know who Bradyn Swinson is off the field, check that out. The Up and In show with Anthony Renato. His episode will come out tomorrow. Him and Maason Smith with the sacks. I think you're seeing it. It's going to take a lot of work. You got a long way to go. But the defense made slight progress this week.
Yeah, I want to jump in there too because, the first 3 possessions, Missouri jumped out to a 22 what was it, 22-7 lead?
Yes.
Or 22-7 lead. The rest of the way, the remaining 10 possessions, LSU gave up 17 points total. I think that is that's 10 possessions. So Missouri got the ball 10 more times. LSU held them to 17 points in those 10 possessions with Brady Cook, who, again, coming into this game had the longest streak of no interceptions in the entire country. And Luther Burden is the number one. He's the yards. the yards leader in receiving for every receiver in the country right now, even after that game. So I'm not going to say LSU's defense went out and played amazing, but I think there is a silver lining to that game. 100%.
For sure. They knew going into this, they talked about it. You had Mekhi Wingo saying, this is a statement game for us, and it's time for us to show y'all who we are on film. Like, we need to show y'all. We can't keep talking about it, and, they did. And again, a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. There's still a lot of work to be done. But I think even the small progress from last weekend's game to the win over Missouri, you saw some things start to be fixed slightly.
Yeah.
I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, we're back.
And
we're not back, but we're small progress.
And look, the like I said, the game opened up 22-7, and those points still count. Like, you can't let them jump out to a 22.
Yeah.
Get 22 in their first 3 possessions. That being said, the rest of the way, LSU outscored them 42-17. I mean, just straight beat down the rest of the way. It just was a lot closer because you were down so many points. To me, I think that is one that speaks to the adjustments that were made by the coaches, which is really encouraging considering what we've seen in the past. And I think this is a team that, are they there? Are they going to compete in the SEC? I don't have an answer for that, but I do think this makes me feel a lot better.
So I want to come back to what does this look like? Like, what realistically, actually, before we do that, shout out to the defense also, because they've been struggling with third down conversions, and they did a very good job compared to games prior with that. Now Mizzou struggles with their third down conversions on offense, but the defense capitalized on that for sure. Going back to what you just said, contending for the SEC West, is that, like, realistically, what?
Well, look, you got to win all your games. You got to win the rest of the games.
So realistically, is that something that you think this team could pull off?
Oh yeah, I think the hardest part of our schedule is behind us. Look, we've already played Ole Miss, who's one of the best offenses we're going to play all year. We just played Missouri with Brady Cook and Luther Burden, who's, like I said, Luther Burden's leading the country in receiving. And you played Florida State, who's a verified top 4 team right now. You got out of those 3 games with 1 win, which you would have liked to get at least 2 there, but you only got 1. But you did get 1. Now the rest of the way, you have Alabama, Texas A&M, Auburn, and then you're pretty much good. So if you can find a way to sweep those games, which is a difficult task, but if you can find a way to sweep those games, look who's leading the SEC right now. It's Alabama, but they have to play us. So LSU has total control over however that game plays out. Texas A&M only has 1 loss in the SEC. Again, still have to play us, still have to play Ole Miss. Ole Miss only has 1 loss in the SEC with a tiebreaker over LSU if it comes down to it, but Ole Miss still has to play Texas A&M and Georgia. So there's definitely a path that if LSU wins out, they will be in the SEC West Championship or the SEC Championship.
Okay, well, I don't think it's crazy to say that could happen.
Yeah, and look, I'm not predicting that
No.
LSU's going to the SEC Championship, but there is a path.
Right, it's possible, and it could happen if they're able to continue to make the adjustments. And that's what it's going to come down to. The offense has to stay hot and be able to, and again, I know everybody's saying it, but props to the offense for being able to pull out wins when your defense couldn't pull weight for a little bit and they're still struggling. But like, the offense is going into these shootouts and producing. That's huge. The defense, if they can continue to make the adjustments, the small things of missing tackles, and it's almost like if you look at the secondary, it's almost like assignments are confused or they don't quite know who's supposed to be getting who, which figure it out. But SEC West is not out of the question, for sure. I think, again, you got Auburn this weekend at home. You got another test right out the gate again. You can't stick, and they're going to talk about it this week. We got the player pressers tomorrow that we'll be getting content from, but you can't harp on the win that you just got. You got to lock and load for Auburn.
Jarquez Hunter will make you pay for it. He's a really good running back, and you saw what he did to Georgia. He punished Georgia early in the game.
You said that earlier today. We are going to preview that game on Friday. Y'all know how it goes. Another test going to be given. At least we'll be at home this time. I said it earlier in the show that fan, the environment makes a difference. That's a no-brainer, especially in Death Valley. It's an 8 p.m. kick? 6.
I think it's 6:30. Also,
6:30.
just I know we do a separate show called Bets and Breaks, but I think there's a really safe bet. The line opened at 12.5.
So we talked about this on Bets and Breaks this morning. If you haven't watched Bets and Breaks, you like to sports bet, that's where you need to go. We cover, you got college football, we got the MLB postseason, NFL week 6, week 5, all the good stuff. So check that out. We talked about it. The line opened at what? 12?
It was LSU minus 12.5. I think you can take 2 individual bets there and feel okay. You could take LSU money line and then hedge it with Auburn minus or Auburn plus 12.5. I'd feel good about those. I do like LSU to. Well, we'll get to that.
We're gonna break it down on Friday, but just to put it out there, the line is set at 12.5. Which, what the hell? What does Vegas know that we don't know? Like
Vegas knows that LSU is a top 3 offense in the country.
There you go, mic drop. Okay, that's what they know. Okay, again, we will preview that on Friday. We've got some really cool Tiger tea, though, that I want to talk about. So y'all know our boy Brad Wing made his NFL comeback on the road against the Houston Texans. Didn't come out on top with the Steelers. They actually really struggled. But he got to return to Pittsburgh for his first home game with the Steelers in God knows how long. And the cool part, the tea, is that he got to play against one of his very best friends, OBJ, former LSU Tiger as well. And if you know, or if you followed Brad's story, you know how close he and Odell are. You know how much that had to mean to him to be able to play his first home game back with the Steelers and see his best friend across the field. And he posted the picture that they did jersey swap after the game. And I'm going to read what you can probably look at it, but I also, I'm going to read it. This is Odell writing to Brad on the jersey. To my brother, B. Wing. He really said that. Look how far we've come. What does it say? You're the real inspiration. I love you. And he signed it. So that's really cool. Not just for Brad, but as Tiger fans to see, like, this story is so cool that Brad has gone through what he's gone through and he's made it back to the NFL, because what are the odds that doesn't happen often where, you know, you get to the league, you take 6 years off and go on your own journey to figure things out, and you make a comeback and then get to play your best friend 2 weeks into your comeback. So congrats again, Brad. We're really proud of you. That's super cool. That's all we've got today. But lucky for you, we do have a home game, which means Joe and I will be back out there on campus at the tailgates getting content for our vlog. We got some really fun stuff last time. I'm really excited to go back out there. I think more and more people are catching on to what we're doing. More and more people want to be a part of it. You guys are more than welcome to be a part of it. If you have a spot that you want us to come check out, let us know. We'll actually be, can I say this? We'll be hitting the balcony. Our boys, the Balcony Bengals, have invited us so kindly to come hang out with them on the balcony, get some content over there. I know they're doing a corn dog eating contest. I will not be partaking in that. I'm putting it out there because I knew somebody's going to say something. It's not happening. I'm not doing it, but I will get content for it, maybe commentate while it's happening. We're also going to swing through Fred's again because Barstool will be at Fred's this weekend. They'll be doing their show, so we're going to go over there and get some content. I'm sure we'll get some lovely things happening at Fred's during the Barstool live show.
Yeah, come get a steak with us. They're bomb.
Bro, I'm telling y'all. I mean, y'all saw my reaction in the last vlog. Gas. Chef's kiss. It was so good. So, yes, go get a steak from Fred's. Corn dog from the balcony, I guess. And then, of course, we'll be hitting the tailgates, playing some BP, seeing what people are cooking, what they're up to. Again, if you've got a spot you want us to hit our DMs. We'll come swing by. We appreciate y'all, and we will see y'all soon.